Iran attacks key strategic points inside Israel as Tel Aviv enters a phase of crisis. Today, we examine one of the most critical and dangerous developments in the region, where tensions between Iran and Israel have reached an unprecedented level. In recent hours, multiple reports have confirmed that strategic locations in Israel have been targeted, particularly around Tel Aviv. These attacks have triggered widespread alarm, pushing the city closer to a full crisis situation. Tel Aviv, the economic heart and one of the most important political centers of Israel, is now facing serious threats. Air defense systems have been activated across the city, and warning sirens have echoed through multiple. Residents have rushed into shelters as the fear of further escalation continues to grow. But the key question remains: why were these attacks launched, and what happens next? Over the past months, relations between Iran and Israel have sharply deteriorated, with both sides accusing each other of hostile actions. At the same time, Israel has repeatedly declared that it will not tolerate any threat to its national security. This raises the possibility of immediate retaliation. However, the situation may not remain limited to these two countries. Involvement of external powers, such as United States, could rapidly expand this conflict into something far more dangerous. If tensions continue to rise, the Middle East could enter a new and unstable phase, one that could have global consequences. One of the biggest concerns is the impact on the global economy. Any instability in a region rich in energy resources could lead to rising oil prices and major disruptions in global markets. Inside Israel, daily life has already been affected. Schools have been closed, emergency protocols have been activated, and security forces remain on high alert. Meanwhile, in Iran, officials have emphasized their right to defend national interests, with some describing these actions as a response to previous threats. But the most dangerous aspect of this situation is the risk of escalation. A cycle of attack and retaliation could quickly spiral out of control. The international level, calls for restraint have intensified. United Nations has urged both sides to avoid further escalation and return to diplomatic solutions. Yet history shows that de-escalation in such conditions is never easy, especially when both sides are preparing for possible confrontation. So the question now is this the bidayah of a larger conflict? The situation is extremely fragile. Any miscalculation could lead to serious and irreversible consequences. The world is now watching closely, waiting to see what happens next.